This is a summary of press releases from Japanese electronics manufacturers on 1st December. Okay, so here's what's on the docket today. We're going to look at some major AI breakthroughs from Fujitsu, Panasonic's leadership in the market, a cool fan engagement strategy from Sony, Canon's new regional plan, and we'll wrap up with a few key leadership updates. All right, first up, we've got Fujitsu, and they've announced a couple of really major AI developments. Their first breakthrough is tackling a huge challenge in green energy, figuring out what's actually happening inside the next generation of batteries. So here's the deal. If you want to make these batteries better and safer, you've got to see what individual atoms are doing on the inside. But the problem, well, trying to simulate all those tiny interactions has been up until now just incredibly difficult, and it takes forever. Okay, so the text behind this is called Neural Network Potential, or NNP for short. But, the existing NNP models have this huge flaw. When you're dealing with really complex materials, like in these new solid-state batteries, they get super slow, they become unstable, and a lot of the time, they just cause the whole simulation to crash. So how did Fujitsu crack this nut? Well, they came up with this really clever method called knowledge distillation. And here's the cool part. Think of it like this. You have a big, powerful, but kind of slow AI that acts as a teacher. It then passes all its wisdom down to a much smaller, way faster student AI. And just like that, this whole process makes these massive, complex simulations actually practical for the first time ever. And the results? They're pretty incredible. Fujitsu's tech can now accurately simulate over 127,000 atoms for a full 10 nanoseconds. Now, that calculation takes about a week, which sounds like a lot, but it's a huge improvement over the years it would have taken before. This thing is so groundbreaking, it's already picked up the 73rd Electrical Science and Technology Encouragement Award. But Fujitsu isn't stopping there. For their second big announcement, they're taking a similar high-tech AI approach and applying it to a totally different world, logistics and supply chains. What they've done is they've built this system where every single company in a supply chain gets its own AI agent. And these agents can all negotiate and coordinate with each other to make the whole chain run smoother, all without ever having to share secret, confidential business data. What that means is they can react super fast and efficiently to any hiccups, like a sudden spike in demand or delay in shipping. And just to give you an idea of the kind of impact we're talking about, they ran a proof of concept with Roto Pharmaceutical and Tokyo Science University. The results? They found that this multi-AI agent system could slash transportation costs by as much as 30%. 30%! That's huge! All right, let's switch gears and talk about Panasonic. They're really zoning in on the human side of tech, making things better for customers both at home and at the office. So get this, for the second year running, Panasonic Reform Club has clinched the #1 spot in the highly respected Oricon Customer Satisfaction Survey for home renovations. That's a really big deal, and it's actually the first time the company has ever managed a back-to-back win like this. And this wasn't just some general overall win. Nope. They also snagged the top ranking in specific areas like customer service quality, how good their sales staff's proposals were, and even the responsiveness of their construction crews. Okay, so shifting from our homes to the corporate world, Panasonic also just launched these new well-being space packages for offices. The whole idea is to boost employee health and productivity by creating 3 really distinct zones. You've got a refresh area for chilling out, a magnet area designed to get people talking and collaborating spontaneously, and specially optimized conference rooms for when you really need to focus. Next up, we've got a really interesting collaboration coming out of Sony. They're building a bridge between 2 very, very different parts of their empire, Sony Music and Sony Bank. So, Sony Bank has kicked off this new campaign with the super popular piano trio band Omo Inotake. If you're a fan and also a Sony Bank customer, you get a shot at winning tickets to their big upcoming Budokan concert or some exclusive merch. And all you have to do is apply through the bank's app and keep a minimum balance. Pretty cool way to connect with fans. All right, moving on to Canon. Here we're seeing another great example of tech being used to tackle real societal challenges. This time, the focus is on local communities all across Japan, and it's happening through a brand new digital transformation partnership. Local towns and cities all over Japan are dealing with some really tough issues. We're talking aging populations, shrinking economies, and just trying to keep public services running. Well, this new partnership is designed to tackle these problems head-on by pushing for faster digital adoption. So here's the partnership.
Canon's subsidiary, Canon Visitenda, is joining forces with Itsimo Smile Digital Solutions. Canon gets the exclusive rights to sell Itsimo DS's already proven digital tools. We're talking about things like a community ride-sharing system, a regional super app for local info, and a disaster prevention app, all aimed at municipalities across the entire country.
And finally, let's wrap up with two quick but important leadership updates that were just announced at NEC and Sharp. Okay, so effective December 1st, NEC has appointed Kazuhiro Muto as a corporate executive vice president. And over at Sharp, they announced they're setting up a brand new brand strategy headquarters, and they've tapped Yuka Mitamura to lead it, starting December 16th. You know, when you step back and look at everything today, from AI digging into battery research to automated supply chains and digital tools for local towns, it all points to one thing: a future of smarter, more connected systems. And it leaves us with a really fascinating question to chew on. As these AI agents and digital tools become totally commonplace, how are our day-to-day interactions really going to change? If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing to the channel and giving it a like.